It's been a hot minute since I've been so jazzed about a commander. Hi, I'm Warren with Crackerjack Games. If you love cool cards and hot deck techs, be sure to like and subscribe, and let me know the coolest commander you're looking forward to building. Now, lots of people know Lotho corrupt Shirriff. He gets stuck in a lot of decks because, let's face it, people are casting 2 spells and we're making tons of treasures. Might be a little fragile with only 1 toughness, but that's okay, it only costs 2 mana. We recently just saw this deck finish 2nd place in a 500-person cEDH tournament. I went exploring the list. I tinkered with the cards a little bit for my taste. The list is in my mocks field, you can find it in the comments. Let's take a look at some of the cards and see what the deck does. So the deck's white and black. That means we're playing as many good card draw spells as we can find. That's Esper Sentinel. That's Archivist of Ogma. I don't know if you've ever played Benny Brack's Zoologist before, but in a game where you get a treasure every time someone casts 2 spells on a turn, you're going to be drawing lots of cards. We're also playing Trouble in Pairs. People do things twice. We get the benefit. And just having Lotho make treasures isn't good enough, so obviously we're playing Smothering Tithe. Now, the other big pull to white in cEDH, of course, is all the silence effects. So we've got Grand Abolisher and our new friend Voice of Victory. We love those little tokens too. Ranger Captain of Eos is really good. This copy is just beautiful. It goes and gets us our Esper Sentinel, so we get to play even more cards. The deck also plays insurance policies. So what do I mean by that? Well, Wandering Archaic makes it so we get copies of people's spells. And that means if people are tapping out and then playing free spells like Force of Will against us, we're getting a copy of it as well. Insurance policy. Now, the only thing we don't get is the storm trigger on a Flusterstorm. So be aware of that. But man, it's cool when you get an extra deadly Rollick. Or maybe someone casts Entomb. I like Entomb. This deck really likes Entomb. Some of our other insurance policies, we're playing Conqueror's Flail. Equipping this to Lotho is always good. It makes him a 3/2, gives us some protection on our turn, and he doesn't die immediately to Orcish Bowmaster anymore. And the classic Defense Grid, make it so you get to play Solitaire on your turn. Important note with Defense Grid, don't just play this card and pass. What you do is give everyone else a chance to play with Defense Grid on their turn before you get to play, and that's no good. The final piece of insurance that we get to play is Apple of Eden Isu Relic. You drop it down, and when it's time to go, you pay Force Life, sacrifice it, and you take away the opponent who's going to give you the biggest problems hand. Now, you also get to use that hand if you want, but just be careful. They get to draw cards as you use the cards. Now, let's win the game. One way we can do that is with Abdel Adrian. We're going to try and put him in the graveyard. Like I mentioned, we got a lot of ways to entomb, so we're going to try and entomb him. One of my favorite ways is Final Parting. You put Abdel Adrian in the graveyard, and then you get one of these 3 spells. Animate Dead, Dance of the Dead, and Necromancy. Any of the 3 will do. Then you're going to cast it, and you're going to bring back Abdel Adrian. Now, what does that do for you? Well, it lets you exile any number of non-land permanents, and you get a bunch of 1/1s for each one that you exile. You're going to also exile the Necromancy or Animate Dead that you put onto the battlefield. What you'll have to do now is put Abdel Adrian back in the graveyard, which will bring back all your exiled permanents, plus you'll now have a bunch of 1/1 soldiers. And that Animate Dead is now going to hit the battlefield, and you get to do it again. Bring back Abdel Adrian, make a bunch of 1/1s, put him back in the graveyard, and repeat. So we get infinite soldiers, which if you're playing Cabal Profiteering Mayor means you win the game. You also could be exiling mana rocks and bringing them back, which means you'll have infinite mana. And as we all know from there, it's usually just a matter of figuring out how the game's going to end. Now, the other card we like to reanimate is Hoarding Broodlord. When it enters, you Demonic Tutor and exile that card face down, and spells you cast from exile have Convoke. So we can go and get Saw in Half, use our creatures to cast Saw in Half, and get 2 Hoarding Broodlords. This can get us Sacrifice and Final Parting, which we can then use to tutor up Abdel Adrian and Animate Dead or Necromancy or Dance of the Dead. So the first time you sit down with this deck, people may or may not know what you're trying to do. They're going to assume you're going to win with treasures, but hopefully not lose to making treasures as you lose life. But what are you there to do? Well, you're there to jam Reanimate over and over and over again. And if that sounds like something you'd like to do, let me know in the comments. This deck is very cool. You can go very fast. So get out there and win your next cEDH game. Hope this helps.